but I still, like, just having gone through it, feel like I have this glimpse, this experience of what sexual abuse does to a person. And it really continues to fuel my passion um, for this work, and really, like, was what initially compelled me to become involved in the work. Um, and so, yeah, that's a long way of kind of answering your question of like how I got into the work and why I do it. But then as far as the logistics of like building an organization, I really had to like build the plane while I was flying, or
The
whatever the
best way to
expression
do
is.
it.
Like, I had to just figure it out. And um, you really care about something when you're willing to like just put aside your ego
Mm.
in service of the work. It's like, okay, well, I know this is a good idea. um, People resonate with this, and so I've just got to figure it out, and I've got to ask for help, and um, I got to grow with it. And it's been a super exciting and challenging, like, wild journey.
Thank you so much, Blythe, for vulnerably sharing your story. I know that can't be easy no matter how many times or you've told it or how many years have gone by, right? So I just want to really thank you for that. And I think what you just said, I want to pull it out for our listeners because it's such a beautiful message that I haven't heard captured in that way before. But it was something you said, something along the lines of, you really care about the work you do when you're willing to set aside your ego in service of that work. And I think that is a lesson that everyone can learn from, regardless of whether they do have a cause based organization like yourself or whether they're just running a normal business. No matter what, at the end of the day in this space, like, you start a business or you start an organization because you want to help someone on the other side of whatever you're doing. And so I think the reason so many people hold themselves back from even trying is because they're so scared to do it wrong or to look foolish or to make mistakes. But that is all centered around, like you said, ego, and it's about yourself, not about the person that you're helping. So I'm curious, when you first started to pivot your style challenge into having that cause and that heart behind it, how did you build a global movement around people partaking in this challenge? How did you spread the word? How did you get it outside of your immediate circles?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I did in the very beginning, and that we continue to do, is collaborate with others in the same space. And so early on, when I decided, okay, I'm going to align Dressember with anti-trafficking efforts, um, so I need to find a partner. I need to find an organization with work that we will resource, that will fund. And so I kind of surveyed, like, the landscape of anti-trafficking, and um, found an organization that is incredible and does incredible work, and that I continue to respect, called International Justice Mission.
Mhm.
And I reached out to them very, like, sheepishly, but just like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to be doing this style challenge. Like, I love the work you're doing, and I'm going to try to raise a few $1,000s to support what you're doing.
Mhm.
And I I like asked on Facebook, I asked all my Facebook friends, like, hey, does anyone know anyone at International Justice Mission? And I ended up with like 3 or 4 contacts. I think it was 4. Um, Half of them were like very senior level contacts,
Mhm.
which was amazing and rare. And then the other half, the other 2, were like more entry level, like my age
Mhm.
people. And I wrote them all the same email separately, and they all responded very graciously, like, hey, thanks, like, let us know how it goes. And then behind the scenes, I found out later, those 2 people who were more like entry level or lower level, like executive assistant type roles, they really ran with the idea and really advocated for it internally.
Wow.
And I always tell this story as like, throw throw everything against a wall and see what sticks. Because I had assumed that those people in the like VP roles would be the best people to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, like the people who were kind of like lower level were the ones who like really got it and really like sold it to the rest of the organization. And so what then happened is like a month before we had that first campaign season, I heard back from them and they were like, hey, here's what we've been kind of working behind the scenes to escalate this, and pitched it to our social media director. He loves it. And we want to help promote Dressember on our channels during the month. And so that was like the single biggest thing, because their audience, it's even bigger now, but at the time their combined audience was like 200,000 people across the world who obviously care about this issue. So it was like targeted audience, and that really is what got it off the ground in the beginning.